Dun 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 dun, tits in your face, tits in your mouth, tits in your face, tits in your face, tits in your space, in your mouth, in your face, tits in your face, tits in your space, yeah, tits in your face, tits in your space, yeah, tits in your face, tits in your space. You like tits and I like tits and we like tits. Tits in your space. Tits in my face. In your face. Tits in your space. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Glad you made it. This is another social production. We're doing it on Wednesday, April the 10th, 2024. Tits in your face. Yeah. Hope you're doing well wherever you're tuning in from. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram and on YouTube and on patreon.com/RobSadras, where you can find the videos every Wednesday and Friday. If you've been with me from the get-go, sending all the love right back to you, you know where you are. If you're just joining us today, if it's your first time, you're like, what do I do? Where do I go? Oh, you go to YouTube, you subscribe there, you help yourself, you help your boy, you help the family, the familia, the syndicate, the global conglomerate that we are, expanding each and every day, one teeny tiny step at a time, baby. Wherever you're tuning in from, I hope you're doing well. Tits in your face, yeah, in your space, yeah. You know, hope you're doing well, boys and girls, ladies and gents. We're doing it, baby. It's April, feeling good to be alive and kicking and breathing the fresh air. The eclipse happened over the past few days. I don't know if you guys had a chance to check it out or not. I flew to the moon and back. That's what I do, baby. I get my spacesuit ready. I spit in it. I piss in it a little bit, make it nice and lubricated. I slide on top of that shit, self-propel myself all the way to the moon. Start staring at the sun. I'm on top of the moon, staring at the sun, waving at you from up there where you guys couldn't see because you don't have telescopes. Most of you guys, if you had telescopes, you would see me waving. I was there. It's great. And you're wondering to yourself, are those flimsy little plastic sunglasses that they tell you, is that good enough to protect my eyes? I say if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us. And if it's us and them is us, and it's good, it should be all right, I think. Normally they say don't stare into the sun, but sometimes they're like, man, if you put a cheap plastic in some cheap cardboard and just strap it over your face, you can stare directly at the sun for hours. It's good for your eyesight, I think. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, tits in your face. Secret to nappiness, let's get right into it. Let us not pussyfoot around this, that, or the other. Let us get right into it. Secret to nappiness. I've been hearing about this. You know, it's one of those things where people are like, I don't know how to nap. I don't know what the secret to nap. If I could only, I see people who nappy nap. What is the secret to nappiness? Everybody, that's one of the biggest existential thoughts on, you know, humanity's frontal lobe right there, just tickling our brains. Everybody's like, how do I take a nap? Secret to nappiness. They're gurus. They're, they're people that work with stones and chakras, and they're people that align you. And then there are people that, you know, crack your bones, and, you know, they're borderline doctors, but also borderline crooks. Shout out to the chiropractic community. What's going on, everybody? It's Wednesday. Tits in your face, nappiness. Secret to it. You know, don't compare yourself to others as the first and foremost, if I may say. A lot of people are like, oh, you know, such and such naps on a regular. I wish I could squeeze. I'm personally not I've dabbled every once in a while. It's good, but you know, I'm not trying to, you know, it's to try to best yourself, really. That's the thing. Some people just, you know, they need a nice lunch, a nice little lunch right in the after, and you can snooze for like 5 to 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you're back up, you're charged. Some people it's easy. Some people, you know, they go in. First they're like, I'm gonna lock in 10, 20 minutes, and then they wake up 2 hours later all groggy and are like, oh, I can't sleep at night. Next thing you know, you're plugging stuff into the wall, you're charging it with batteries, and it's vibrating, and you're sticking it in all sorts of orifices in yourself, man. Ladies, trying to fall asleep once again because you nap for too long. Secret to nappiness, it's all about balance. It's not what, it's not what your neighbor's doing. It's not what your friend's doing. It's individualistic. Some people can just not even nap, and that's the secret of nappiness for them. If you're having a difficult time, you're not able to nap, but you really want to, eliminate coffee from your daily routine. I would say stay up the night before and then have that nice lunch and then snooze for 15, 20. Nice. Half an hour. Let's go. Get up, rejuvenated. Secret to nappiness. Tits in your face. Find a comfortable position, a space. You don't need to be in a bed necessarily to nappy nap. Closing your eyes for 10, 15 minutes could give you all the relaxation that you need. Could be on a chair, could be on a hammock, could be on someone's lap for, if need be, I'll fucking crawl on your lap, dude. I will, lady, you got nice double D's. I will, let me just, resting station, honka honka. Tits in your face. Secret to nappiness, but that's the thing. Some people, if you're not, I'm not the one, I don't suggest anybody take any sort of pills unless somebody suggested it to you, or you suggested it to yourself and you're like, man, this suggestion feels right. Let me take pills and nap. Nap pills. Nils. Napping pills. Nil. Take a napping pill. Take a nil. Brought to you by Nils. You can crack it in half in 10, 20, 15 minutes. Down the whole thing. Half an hour to an hour. Nils. Enjoy responsibly. Tits in your face. Yeah. But that's the secret to nappiness. Again, don't compare yourself to others. Find any space that's available to you. Start small, even a couple of minutes resting your little eyelids, your beautiful, sexy, beautiful eyelids with them eyelashes, or maybe you just burnt them all off because you were just like, let me curl these. Let me get an extension. Maybe you extended it too long. The weight was too much for your eyelids and your eyelashes fell off, man. Ladies, it's in your face. And that's what it is, man. It's just a secret to happiness. Because everybody's out there going to seminars, classes, trying to better this. All I say is just relax for a second. That's the secret to happiness. What else is going on in and around the world? A lot of exciting events are taking place, but I'll stick with the personal, with the most important topics that impact each and every one of us, of course, here, out there, in the universe, in the multiverse, humans, animals, aliens, extraterrestrials, being extras. In your face, you got tits. So you happen to be walking and you just happen to trip and fall in pussy. How do you get back up? It could happen to the best of us. Happen to many people out there. Man, tripping and falling in pussy's been with us since, it came right after the fire, I think, or maybe before the fire. I think before inventing fire, tripping and falling in pussy was probably more normal, but it still happens. I last time tripped and fell in pussy was 87. Happened again in 99, once again in 2003, once again, if you want to count the 2009 trip and fall and pussy fiasco, that one, yeah. So, you trip and fall in puss. How do you get back up? First of all, relax. First of all, calm down, because panicking will not be of assistance to your dilemma. You must relax. Collect yourself, calm down, ask yourself, retrace your steps. How did I get here? Tripping and falling in pussy can be a conundrum of sorts, but you can get back up. Ask yourself, was it a shoe problem? Were you walking around with untied or unlaced shoes? If you're walking in flip-flops, if you're walking barefoot, if you're doing just socks, if you are doing, whatever, high heels, you trip and fall and put, how do you get back up? Ask, is it a shoe problem? No, I've got adequate shoes, not a shoe problem, fantastic. Is it any other item of your attire that's contributing to you falling in puss? No, regular pants, like regular shirt. None of those, great, fantastic. Where were you? Oh, just walking down the street, mind my own biz, fell in a puss, great. Ask yourself now, did you fall with your face? Did you fall with your back? Did you fall with your peen? Or did you fall with your elbow? These are all the questions one must ask themselves once they fall into puss and they're wondering, how do I get back up? If you've fallen face first, You fell into puss face first. Your face is now planted into puss. All you are now, positioned so that all the blood is rushing into your head. Your feet have no blood left in them because you're just hanging upside down in puss, head first. You're losing blood by the second. Relax, breathe. You have 5 to 10 minutes to get out of this. After that, we may need to bring in the jaws of life. We may need to call an ambulance. We may need to, we might need to get a helicopter and fly you out. Whatever I say, you can handle on your own. So again, if it's face first, you're like, try to concentrate with your face and push the blood from your face to your feet. Now you got to go past the penis. You got to go past the vag. If it's because that area would suck up a good amount of blood once again, you're inside puss. Things get exciting. Concentrate. You must have enough blood in your feet to be able to push yourself, pull yourself, or pop back up on your feet. That's one way. You have fell into puss with your elbow. Your elbow stuck in puss, wedged in there. It's just clamping, holding you down. Ladies, gentlemen, how do you get back up? Let me remind you, do not panic. You have one arm that is free. One arm, elbow deep in puss. You're like, I'm gonna have to cut this. Do not cut it off. Relax for a second, okay? If need be, give yourself a nice smack in the face. Let's just wake you up for a second. Reach with the other arm. Is there anything else around you? A table, a pole, a fishing rod, anything, a chair, a person. Grab onto them and pull yourself up if you are stuck from the elbow inside vag. You're walking and you fell onto puss back first. How do you get back up? The puss is sucking on your back. It's like a suction. It's sucking on your back. It's latching on your back, not letting go. It's kind of like suction cups. Feels nice. Probably good to relieve some pain, but nonetheless, it's been 3 hours. You'd like to get back up. You fell on puss with your back. How do you get back up? I say, use your core. Once again, your arms are free. Your legs are free. Think of the inner turtle that is within you and kick and flip like turtles do. Because we all know when turtles fall on their backs, they get right back up. I think that's the nature of turtles. Once they're on the back of their shell, nothing is holding them back except a little bit of, just a little bit of willpower, effort, and hopefully there's somebody there to give you a hand, assist you in getting back up. If you tripped and fell in a pit, do not give up. Ladies, gents, please, we can do this together. So many of our fallen brothers and sisters have forgotten the ways of maintaining a cool, calm, collected headspace. Because that's the first thing that'll get you in trouble. Panicking, oh no, I'm head deep in puss. How do I get back? I tripped and fell. It's happened to many. Do not be ashamed. Do not be alarmed. We can do this together. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'll say this, we can end Hamas in one afternoon, I think. I think we can end Hamas in one afternoon together. I figured it out, sat down, did a little bit of soul searching, did a little bit of reading, did a little bit of contemplating, got an erection and sat on my erection just for meditative purposes. And I came up with a solution. I'm like, how do we get rid of Hamas in one? I'm like, what is their Achilles heel? Gay shit. I came up with the gay shit. They don't like the gay shit. So this is what we do. One afternoon, we throw one of the biggest gay bashes in a Hamas-infested region area. And we let the news spread. We're like, pick a date, any date. Could be June, could be July, whenever. Could be August, could be September. Whenever. Earlier, we can do it next week. We can do it tomorrow if you like. Spread it on, send out little pamphlets, make little emails, get on Facebook, get on Instagram, get on the TikTok, send out all the messages. The biggest gay party in the neighborhood is going down. Next thing you know, Muhammad hears about the gay bash that's going down. Oh man, it's gonna be, and then he finds a pamphlet, and next thing you know, he's bringing it to one of the heads of the Hamas. All right, tells the other Muhammad, there's gonna be a big gay event going on today. Big gay. Lots I heard of it, and that's the thing. And the other Muhammad, just to, he hears it, what do you mean gay event going on? And the other Muhammad, the one that with the pamphlet, starts explaining, will you see where the gay get together? The penis to dick, lots of sucky, ass dick to ass to dick, ass to dick, dick to mouth, men's rubbing shoulders, rubbing elbows. And the other Muhammad receiving the information will hear that and say, what do you mean rubbing elbows with the dick in the asshole? We best go check it out, grab all the men's. And that's the thing, we are, and that's the thing, we are in there partying hard, gay party, like undercover gays. In reality, they could be frogmen and women. Frogmen and women, just partying gay, dildos all around, cocks all out, and it's like, it's the middle of the desert, but there's this one building that's got fucking EDM going on. There's a bunch of Molly being allegedly popped or not, a lot of glow sticks, a lot of body paint, clothing optional. And then all of a sudden, the whole of Hamas gets into the building and there's gay shit going on right there, dude. I'm talking anal. Classic. And then they see it. And then some of the Mohammeds start getting, some of them maybe we might be able to turn. Some of them might be like, if you are nice, we get in there and give them a chance. We come in with trays, with cocktails, with, we get in there and, offer them a little back massage, a little, let me, do you want me to wax an eyebrow? Do you want me to, can I offer you some hummus for your hummus? Man, there's gonna be more hummus in that room than there's, than the summer of 77 hummus Olympics. It's gonna be lots of white-ish, off white, off yellow, off white, jizz, a shade of 50 shades of jizz. That's what's gonna be in that building. And all of a sudden, all the heads of the Hamas are there. And next thing you know, the frogmen and women stop doing anal. And then what's in there? What's in your asshole, man? Frogmen and women. Oh, AKs or other guns that I'm not too good with gun names because I don't know many guns. I don't know any guns personally. I've seen guns in the telly. Heard of guns. I don't know too many. AKs, automatic, semi-automatic, grenades being pulled out of people's assholes and being chucked one afternoon. That's the down of hummus. And then we get some of them on and then we turn some of them as well. So that's what I thought about. Just a big gay party. Let the news spread. And it's funny how they hear about out of all the news they do hear about, one of those, they do hear about the gay news pretty quick. You got to give it to them. Have a, it's like dogs on a special frequency. It's just pick, what is that? Gaia. That's a little bit of Hamas. That's a little bit of just, global events. That's tits in your face. What are we doing here, ladies and gents, boys and girls? What are we doing here if it's not a Wednesday and it's a Friday, and if it's not a Friday, it's another Wednesday. If it's just another day of the week. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having fun wherever you're tuning in from. I'll say this. We all know that the best part of going to the beach is coming back home and reaching into every orifice, every crevice, every nook and cranny and finding a little bit of sand rubbing against you. Oh, that glorious feeling of sand between my clit. Sand stuck between my pussy lips. Jeez, man, what a lovely feeling. Sand stuck in my asshole. I'm watching some sort of a dramatic depiction of a young love, of family ties. These are, oh man, it's pulling on my heartstrings. I'm crying now. There's, what's that coming out of your tear duct? Sand, pleasures of the beach. You are reaching into your pocket to grab your phone, and there is now sand underneath your nails, and in all, and your phone too. There's sand in your phone. Well, how are we gonna get? And these are the wonderful things, the most wonderful aspect of going to the beach. But what if I told you that you're busy out there, you're hustling and bustling, you're grinding it out there, you're putting in the hour. Maybe you don't have time to go to the beach. But what if I said we could bring it to you? Introducing the new and improved sand to go. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, up until now, you had to get up and physically go to the beach in order to be able to really, enjoy the benefits of the beach, the biggest one, which is sand. What if I said you could be sitting on your couch doing work from home? What if I said you could be in the office and still feel like you went to the beach? The sand to go would offer you the opportunity to sprinkle a little bit of sand into your life without actually having to travel and go to the beach. They come in bags or potentially jars, depending on whichever we prefer to ship them out in. It doesn't matter. You get your sand and it's to go. Take a scoop. Why don't you take 2 scoops, as much as you need. Put it inside your vag. Put it inside your dig hole. Great. Look at that. What a fantastic feeling. It's like you never left your apartment. You never left your office building, but it feels like you've gone to the beach. Man, that's the future. Reach in your pocket. Go ahead. Fill it up. A scoopful of sand will make your pocket feel like you've just came out of the biggest beach ever, the longest beach on planet Earth, and we all know which one that is. I'm gonna go with Rio. I'm gonna go with. It feels like Brazil would have a long beach. Feels like, because it's big, and it's beachy, and it's long. It's not wide, but it is long. I'll give it to you. If there are bigger beaches, it's not about the size of the tits in your face. It's about how you use them. But that's just sand to go, yeah, because a lot of times people are like, man, I am so focused in, I'm just busy working, but I want to have the opportunity so that I could strike up a conversation at the water cooler, at least pretend like, when everybody's coming back from the long weekend holiday at the beach, I too can reach into a pocket and be like, oh my God, I got all this sand in my pocket. Look at me, must have been from the time I spent at the beach. And you too, can feel like you belong, which is nice. Ladies and gentlemen, what happened over the weekend? Oh man, this is exciting. This is past weekend. We just had WrestleMania. Let's go. The biggest, most exhilarating WrestleMania ever. Did I catch it? Not in real time, because I too was busy doing things. But had I had time, I watched the highlights. It was, oh man, wrestling fucking rules. I'll say this. Wrestling fucking rules. And that was last week. This week we got UFC 300, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of exciting things are happening, but Undertaker, John Cena, friggin' everybody, The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, star-studded, exhilarated, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. But that's the thing, it gets you going, and you start thinking things. Like, how many midgets would it take to take on a wrestler or a boxer or a bodybuilder? Exactly. My thoughts are your thoughts and your thoughts are my thoughts, and now we're just fucking connecting. That's what that is. How many midgets would it take to take out let's say a wrestler, let's say a 250 pound, or a UFC star? How many, and we can go by weight, but let's just stick with a medium-sized wrestler or a boxer or a UFC fighter. How many midgets if we're going one-on-one, I don't think it will work. I think that's quite possible that, it's not going to end too well for our beautiful midget. But if they're let's say 2-on-1, then is that good enough? 2 midgets versus 1 UFC star, let's say. And I know they're different in terms of sports, but let's just go with the UFC, because it's realistic, because it's real. That's what you want to know realistically. In a real life scenario, should you either as the one individual get jumped by, or you got bum rushed by a bunch of midgets, how many of them would you be able to take? Or vice versa, you are a midget in a group, and now there's one individual who's just getting in your space with no tits. And every time people get in your space or your face, you like them to bring what? Everybody's saying, Tits In Yo Space. Yeah, that's right. Boys and girls. So I would say 2 would obviously give you a little bit of a favor there. 2 is better than 1. 3, I think, is when we start talking, now we might have a good fight. Now we might actually have a chance where it's kind of even out. But I would still say if it's 3, scientifically, for the sake of humanity, this shit needs to be sorted, because a lot of people go on speculation and you end up getting roughed around and on either side, because you're either outnumbered or you're underestimating. It's just many factors that we need to consider. So I'm just thinking, definitely not one. One-on-ones, no, it's not fair. 2-on-1, now we're starting to kind of like, okay, what kind of midgets? Are they UFC fighters as well? Or are they wrestlers? Or are we talking about regular midgets? Compared to, because like if it's a fighter midget, then maybe 2 fighter midgets would take on a UFC. Maybe you never know. Maybe one should test this out in a venue somewhere. Or is it 3? Is 3 the magical number? But you're like, man, 3 feels good, but I feel a little bit more comfortable were we to have 4. Because like then you'd have 1 midget on the left leg, 1 midget on the right leg, 1 midget on the left arm, another midget on the right arm. So that's just holding him down. That's just like, imagine, okay, I don't want to, the body's hold down. You're holding down the body, all the limbs are, but you need somebody to work the body now. The limbs are held down. I think, practically, logistically speaking, I think 5 is the magical number. What do you think? I want the internet, I want the entire world to go ahead, all 8 billion of you out there, subscribe, and while you're subscribed, write down the number of perfect midgets versus, professional wrestler, boxer, or UFC fighter. I'm gonna go with 5. I think 5 midgets would definitely be able to take on, honestly, anybody in the UFC. 5 midgets. Oh man, 6 probably makes me feel a little bit. 6 is like that backup insurance, because somebody, again, holding the legs, holding the arms, punch in the face, and you need a 6th person to work the bod. So I think 6 versus 1 would probably suffice. If I were to, but man, this is, again, or is this some sort of, or is it 7 or up to 10? Because these guys, I would like to see it. I know you'd like to see it. Men's and women's out there want to see it. Do not deprive yourselves. We can do this together, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'll say this, are you running a business out there? Are you running a business in an office building of sorts? Coming out of the pandy schmandy, it kind of feels like, you need a little bit of something to spruce up business, or at least the allure of sprucing up the business, making it look as if it's more busy or more important than it actually is. But it's fucking important, because you're essential to me, you're essential to everybody out there, especially your family. You're putting the table with the food on the table, man. So you got to bring tits in your face. That's what you got to do. But before you do that, you got to give the illusion that the business is booming, that the business is, hence introducing the all new and improved stand-in people for your office space and elevator use only. Ever go on an elevator and wonder, man, this building kind of seems dull. This building kind of seems empty. I bet there's no important fancy business going on in this building. No, not anymore. Because now we can have stand-in people in the elevator. Hired professionals, so that when you ding, open the elevator door, walk in, there's already a person in there. You get a sense of, oh my God, which floor are you going to? And they're just fucking all the floors, son. Maybe just 2-3 people hired in the elevator, just pressing all the digits, making every stop. Okay, maybe that'd be too much. Maybe just press a couple of, maybe one for each person that's in the, okay, you get 1 button, don't press more, because then they might be like, what is going on here? But then as soon as you get off the floor, you make sure to like run back upstairs, up the staircase, get back on the elevator, because there's more people. But you can have multiple people in the elevator. Multiple people just entering and exiting elevators, so to make the building, the office space, look more important, more fancy, more mature, more business-like. I'm just fucking, if there was a chart, this business office is going up on an angle, on a 90-degree angle, which is a good angle to go to, because you don't want to go like beyond 90. You could fucking go like, you could work with angles, man. I've seen 37s, 25s, it takes you longer. You could do 120, you could do, but we're not here to talk about Pythagoras. We're not here to talk about the square root of. We're not here to talk about pie charts and palm reading here. We're not here to talk about, you get the gist of it, but that's not it. Not just stand-ins in the elevator, but what about the office space in You walk into the reception of any office space, a dentist, a lawyer, an architect that you need to see. Does anybody see architects? Is that a thing? Do architects have... Yes, they do. Of course, they must. Office space for architects. But you walk in because you got an appointment with your favorite architect for your architectural needs and purposes. Anyway, but that's the thing. Typically speaking, there wouldn't be too many people in an architect's office because why would there be too many people in an architect's office? But now, give the illusion, the allure, oh man, the feeling of getting things done, the feeling of like there's more people in here than normally you'd think there would be, but then there are a lot of people in here. Just people walking up to the reception, signing their name in, signing themselves out, flirting with the receptionist, maybe making a little bit of a scene, giving you a chance to step up and be a gentleman and be like, hey. If she's not feeling your vibe, can I make eye contact with the lady and see, would you like to go out on a date if this gentleman's not your cup of tea? So just, read a newspaper upside down to make the office look busy. Punch holes through the newspaper so that you can watch people come in and out, and you can continue to do that. I don't know how that would help, but it would definitely make the office space look more, what is going on here? Interesting in this office space of architecture and design and building and whatnot. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll say this. I will say this. It's, we're doing it together. A lot of exciting things are happening, of course, in and around the world. Hypothetically speaking, though, because there's so many things going on. Let's say we have a nuclear accident of sorts. Okay, nuclear accident of sorts. You graze a nuclear power plant. A nuclear power plant happens to be grazed, accident or not, or just nuclear stuff going array, because there's nuclear accident of sorts. Is it an accident? What's going on? Happens that there's a leak with nuclear stuff. There is centrifuges. There are, there are nuclei. There are uraniums. There are plutoniums. There is glow in the dark. There is smoke. There are mushrooms. And then there are clouds. And there's an accident of sorts. Let's just say that. Next thing you know, you're just a regular person walking about your life doing your regular activity. Next thing you know, you've prolapsed your intestine, both the small and large one, out of your asshole, and it's on the floor. How embarrassing is what you'd say if it was just you, fella, if it was just you by yourself, lady. But we're in this together. Should, in any circumstance, in any freak accident, man-made or natural, should we have some sort of a nuclear disaster where small and large intestines are prolapsing, just oozing out of your asshole, just on the floor, do not panic, relax, stay calm. Step 1, examine the surrounding areas. Dirty dust, is there are we working with sand? Are we working with grass? Did it land on gravel? Is it the pavement? If it's not dirty, if it's not too dirty, you could just give it a nice blow and just pick it up in your hands. And in the meantime, you can at least hold on to them in your arms while you walk around. And who knows, maybe you can make connections with people who they too have faced this peculiar circumstance that now you got your intestines that are prolapsed out of your asshole. A beautiful lady with her prolapsed intestines in her arms, and now you're walking and you're just a fella in your late 20s, early 30s. Talking on a nuclear accident right now. Who cares about age at this point? Late 20s, early 30s, more or less the same. Wouldn't you say so? How do you make a connection? Oh, I don't know. First of all, let's say you might not have access to cell phones for some time. Let's say you don't want to get separated. Step 1 of not wanting to get separated, attach the intestines, the loose, out in the open intestines together. Tie it to another person's intestine. Now there you go. Now that's you thinking. Now that's you stepping up and saying, if there should ever be a problem, there's always a solution. Wrap up your intestines to somebody else's intestines, because We all know the power of people coming together and attaching to each other and latching onto one another. And yeah, when there's opportunities, I say, instead of always being like, oh, this body is half empty of intestines, say, no, I've got a handful of intestines and they're so fresh. And look at you, you have pink color intestines too. How great. Let us rub the tip of our intestines on each other. Oh, ooh, what is this? It kind of feels nice. It kind of feels right. That way, if you see other individuals, you can be like, hey, do you want all this, leakage from the nuclear power plant or nuclear accident or what this is, guys? Let's just put everything aside for a second and skip rope. And there you go. Now you're skipping rope using your intestines. Skipping rope using your attached intestines. There's always a way of looking at things in a more practical manner, in a more, in a more logical manner, and a more, because you could always respond with your emotions. But you want them tits in your face, yeah. You like tits, and I like tits, and we like tits, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is it best to spit or swallow? How to give the best head? How to give the ultimate head? Is it best to spit or swallow? Spitting would, here's the thing, it depends. If you're spitting, then you'd have room for more head because you're not feeling like I've had too much. You could, if you spit, you can continuously give head as much as you like without ever feeling like, oh, I ate too much. So spitting has got that benefit. Let's say if you have a gag reflex of sorts, if you've got a gag reflex of sorts, then you're good at the sucky good. The actual swallowing makes you gag and sometimes throw up. Then spit. Then spitting is for you. Let's say it's not much jizz. Maybe this is the third time giving head to that individual. Or eating a box. Maybe this is the third time she's busted. You know what I mean? So it's not that wet, but it's still quite wet. So instead of swallowing, if you just spit it back, it would give off once again the illusion of the overall more wetness. And more wetness is essentially what humanity is all about and what we're after anyway. We're out here looking for water sources, if I'm not mistaken. They say it's gonna be the biggest commodity to be fought after in the coming centuries. But I say get a head start, spit it back, give back instead of always taking it in. Quit being selfish, spit it back. Leave some for the others. I'll say this though, if it's too wet, that's when you can start swallowing. If it's just like too much and you're like, man, this is gonna get all over the place and I don't want it to be messy, then ingest all of it. Ingest all of the cum, ingest all the puss juice. That will make sure that at least there's less space to be cleaned up now, because that's essentially, you want to maintain a good level of hygiene as one, a good level of wet to dry ratio is also very important. You don't want it to just, because then we're just in a body of water and it's like, are we swimming in here? Is this a waterfall? Is this a sprinkler? Is there a faucet? Is this on tap? Are you gonna put it on my tab? Are we gonna get billed after this? Are we, is it a fire hydrant? How is this, but we're not here to get into the nitty gritty of the mechanics of things. We're just here to say, let's keep it simple. Let's attack this from somewhere where we can all agree that balance is once again key. So to answer your question, very thoughtful. Thank you, Thomas, out there, for your considerate email/DM. Is it best to swallow or spit? I say it is upon the individual to decide for themselves if it's best to spit or swallow. I myself you know? So, but that's just me. So, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let us take a minute. Let's say if you are, if you happen to be amongst a very rare population on Earth that is, they say suffering, but are you enjoying it? That's the real question. Suffering is what they put as a precursor when they say, or when they start talking about congenital insensitivity to pain. Congenital, innate, born with. You've got it from your mama maybe. Or maybe your dad's, I don't know, maybe your dad's passed down them genes, but somehow you ended up with congenital insensitivity to pain and you don't feel pain. You're a very rare human being. But should this happen to you, or this is, there are benefits to it. I see it more as a superpower because let's say you're walking in, next thing you know, there's a van being pulled up right next to you. There's a bag being pulled over your head, or you just happen to be in a back alley and trip and fall instead of regularly like your beautiful self, instead of tripping and falling in puss, you've now tripped and fell into a little hatch that's gone down a little tube in some sort of old abandoned building. Next thing you know, you're in a Saw movie and the guy's like, man, I'm gonna give you a riddle to solve and the clock is ticking, and if you don't tick by the talk and the clock is tick tock, can you count? And then you gotta fix, solution the riddle, and then the trick is to actually, you're handcuffed. Now you're gonna have to saw your arm off in order to escape. Will you do it? Tits in your face. And that's the thing. Most people would break out into hives. Most people would get some sort of a panic attack of sorts. But not you. If you're a beautiful individual who happens to be what society labels as suffering from congenital insensitivity to pain, you can just be like, ha, I don't feel nothing, and you can still, you can just tell them to shut the fuck up before you even finish your sentence. You're already on it because you've seen this movie before. You are sawing that shit off, dude. You're gnawing on your arm with your teeth because you don't feel pain. What a beautiful, glorious scene for everybody, or at least a story to be told later on. And with your dangling arm, and they're like, "How did you leave?" You're like, "I chewed it off. That's how. I don't feel pain." So that's one of the, diseases or superpowers that doesn't get the attention that it needs. And I'm just trying to bring to the forefront of our attention things that really matter, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's important here. I'll say this, which also, I think, maybe JC, dude, maybe JC was AKA suffering, but more like blessed with the power of congenital insensitivity to pain. They're like, we're gonna cross you up for whatever reasons. I'm not too well versed in the, the Bible text itself, but I'll say this, maybe he was just like, that's fine, you can, and that's the thing, dude, they got them, nail guns and doop, and it's just like, do it all you want, don't feel nothing. He's not bleeding, how? It's, he's just up there, I'll be back in 3. How do you do it? Congenital insensitivity to pain. So instead of pointing fingers, instead of saying, oh, you're a freak, you're feeling pain, you could, yeah. You know how many doors you can slam on your fingers, and oh man, if I had that condition, I'd be just walking and just like, just leaving my fingers between doors all the time, just getting in and out of the car, slamming the door on my thighs, freaking people out, and just be like, I'm okay. And they're like, are you? I'd be like, completely fine. I wouldn't even tell people. I just slam into things, slam headfirst in a toaster, just. Oh, oven door, slam it in my face, just right there. You're bleeding though, it's okay, I don't feel anything. I'm congenital insensitivity to pain, man. I've got that down. Be great for magic. I would cut myself into the smallest pieces in the same spot over and over. Then I'd rush back to the hospital, not because I'm in pain, but because I'd like them to stitch it back on. But for the magic show, oh my God. He sliced himself in 7 pieces. How? No pain. That's how. So if you've got congenital insensitivity to pain, please write a comment. When was the last time you used this beautiful superpower to bring people closer together? Or are you just holding it to yourself? You're just being selfish. Just doing tricks for yourself, man. Ladies. Coding has never been easier. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the age of technology, and technology is aging. And coding is, you need to code. Your children need to learn to code. And the best way to learn, it's this simple solution and pathway really that I created by myself. All by myself. It's 2 easy steps for coding purposes. Step 1, try coding. Step 2, have an aneurysm. If step 1 and 2 doesn't work for you and you are having if you're having a difficult time coding, again, step 1, try coding. Step 2, aneurysm. If step 2 fails, refer back to step 1, start coding. If step 1 doesn't work, move forward. Once again, repeat step number 2, aneurysm. My goodness, look at you, you're coding all by yourself. And they said you needed to take classes and learn languages. Start 2 simple steps. If I can do it, you can do it too. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Wednesday. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in and around this beautiful planet, aka the blue marble. We are floating in mid-space, in mid-air. Just want to let you know that we're rocking and rolling, baby. And it's tits in your face. For a second you thought we were gonna, what's going on here? Nothing's going on here. That's what's going on over here. Where can you find these videos? I'm glad you asked. Once again, they're dropped every Wednesday and Friday on Instagram. Follow me there if you like. Subscribe on the old YouTube channel. The old, it's the same channel. Subscribe there so you get the full-length videos. Tell your family and friends. Tell all your cousins. Tell all your relatives. Tell your friends and family. Tell your dogs. If a family member is in prison, they don't have access. Tell them. If you're a family member in prison and you've come to watch this video inside prison, let the others on the outside know. If you are thinking of, checking out patreon.com/RobSandry, that's big ups right there. Respects. You can become a member, contribute to the cause, which is the podcast growing brighter, bigger each and every week, right before your eyes, like an endless growth cycle. An endless growth cycle, which is basically like space, ever expanding, folding on top of itself, inverting, but also coming out the other side. That's right. Love you all. Thank you for all the love and support. Have a fantastic start to your weeks, wherever you're living in, wherever you're residing in, whatever you're doing. Love you all. Thank you for all the love and support. I'll be back here again on Friday. In the meantime, remember, tits in your face, in your space, in your face, yeah, tits. Peace out.